I remember 5 speeds, 10 speeds, roller derby, black eyed pea, softball, football, stick man, and hide and seek. At the school, freeze pop, frozen cups, candy shop, the ice cream man coming, boy. Can you believe that was BMO streets? Doors unlocked, block parties, Saturday mornings, kids had scenes, you and your friends meeting up at noon, but your mama screaming, clean up your room, you throw it out, then became friends, but all that seats to an end, the free base and that dope took over. Who let the violence in the drugs come in? Picnic King, Rodney Kelly, Worcester Bird, Mary William, Hot Boys, no shout outs, no glorification, just a memorization. Nation, 545 always taping, guns blazing, camera lights on all occasions. It's supposed to ride, never just the basics. Playing smooth, better cop a move. Stand the line, there's a hustler's rule. Got 100 fiends, give a hell of green. Used to tee off hard on the side of school. I believe the foolish became a change in the paper show. That was hell you caught. What's the code? Kills that KZOs and breaks, bro. I'ma let you know.
Good evening, everybody. It's Shaky, live in Lafayette Projects. Right here used to be buildings, and now it's now torn down as Pleasant View Gardens. But myself and Bam, we grew up and started martial arts right here. I used to be over Bam House. He used to be having Bruce Lee pictures all over the wall. He was a no belt, and I was sitting there eating his food, spending time with him and his mother. Being a brother that we are, we spend time together, and here we are. Come full circle. We started the martial arts over there with Master Kenny at McKim's Recreation Center. Now we're across the street at the Carmelo Anthony Center, years later.
What was some of the experiences like? What was an average day growing up practicing martial arts?
An average day was martial arts for a few hours, then it was gymnastics, Boy Scouts, flipping, yoga meditation from Master Kenny, and Bam as my instructor and classmate, edging me on and teaching me the way of the martial arts.
And we had no instructors. What were we doing, man? What was happening back then?
We were just training and making kung fu movies and running the streets.
We was making movies back then. What years was this? Talk to me.
1979 and 1975 and 72, and we were just doing it. Couldn't tell us we wasn't good martial artists, and you couldn't tell us we wasn't in movies. We just did what we did, and we had fun learning the ways of the street.
But we were in the hood. Most things like, how was we? You know, you in a violent neighborhood. How were we coming about the dream and vision? Tell the people. What was that?
It was nothing to run up to the Apollo up on the hill to catch a Bruce Lee movie and sit there all day watching movies and coming back home and trying the flips and trying the stunts, and Bam going into Bruce Lee, learning all the techniques in the books and teaching us, and just coming out on the street trying to be children and getting into your little scuffles and playing football and trying to maintain and stay out of trouble, but all in life experiences.
Now,
the way things go.
I mean, when you think of Lafayette Projects, the violence back then, I mean, so you saying that they had a safe haven? I mean, you were able to go into your house and strive and dream and push, and I mean, because most people look at a neighborhood like that as being so bad, and they feel so sorry for people like me and you. Come on, educate.
Back then, we had what's called old love. We don't have that much anymore. I could go to your house, I could eat dinner, I could stay there until mom got off of work. You could come to my house and my mother would feed you until your mom got home from work. We stay there and we do various things for hours, learning and reading and spending time together. And it was just a whole bunch of old love back then. Whole bunch of old love.
And what about the count? I mean, when you talk about coming outside, where kids, we talk about today, kids being obese, kids being showing no discipline. Would you say that inside Lafayette Projects, the people raised us, they fed us, we were always active, in shape? I mean...
Not only did they raise us, they showed us love. They raised us with love. They disciplined us with love. When they called you in the house at 7 o'clock or 9 o'clock, you came in the house. You could hear your name being yelled throughout this area, whether it was Shaky or Bam. We heard our name and we went in the house. Whatever we did or what we doing, at that time, stopped, and we went in. Miss Sally said, your mother said come in, and you went in. You missed a call, there was consequences.
So, I mean, would you say the community centers were there for us to keep us, even though drugs and violence was going on, would you say that those community centers and those counselors like Kenny were there to help us, like, stay on the straight and narrow?
Yes, I would. You had Kenny, you had Dwight, you had Miss Debbie, you had Butchie, you had a whole lot of the brothers and sisters they would sit there and they would pull you in these community centers to show you old love, show you art, show you drawing, teach you how to write. You had a tutoring class. You had all kinds of activities back in the day. Mentoring classes for various things like arts and craft, design. And they had those programs, and they did it with love, and they did it out of their heart to keep you off the street. Nowadays, it's hard pressed to even try to pull these kids off the street. They want to be on the street more so.
And would you say, when did you start seeing a change? Like, I mean, when the community centers started vanishing, and when did you see a change happening when Lafayette just became so violent where you didn't have a place to play? I mean, because we could run around all day and do karate, play basketball, play football, am I correct?
All day long.
When did that change?
Well, for me, it changed in the 1980s, just before I was about to move out and go west. I say around 1982, 83. You just, you faced with so many things. You were faced with drugs. You were faced with just the natural neighborhood violence that they had. But back then, you didn't hear nobody getting shot. You didn't hear nobody getting stabbed. All you heard was fights. You didn't hear no major violence. You didn't hear drugs killing people and people getting kidnapped and raped. Those days are now the days you didn't have a whole bunch of car theft and people being missing and abducted. We didn't have that back then. We didn't have it.
And now, I mean, so from coming from nothing, I mean, we talk about,
Nothing.
I mean, at that time, movies was like 25 cents, am I correct?
Correct.
You could watch, like, what was it? What was a day going to Pollard? What about hopping the bus? Tell us about those things, man, getting on the bus.
Well, I was
what,
too...
what about skateboarding and bike riding?
About the ball bearing skates.
Come on, talk to us about that. The skateboards, the
ball
bikes.
skates and skating up here with the number 9s all out here out in traffic and acting crazy doing that. You know you could only do that for a certain time, because after a while, jumping the bus, you got caught. Mom was going to get you, and you was going to get it. So you was not going to do that so often until somebody told on you. Because I could tell on you, because you think you're getting away with something, but by the time you got home, the word had already got home. And you were going to get that whipping because Mom already knew. You didn't know she know, but somebody done passed the word. And that's just how that was back in the day. The neighborhood, the community showed you love. And therefore, the school system even showed you love.
We used to get spanked with rulers back then in school, right?
That's
Tell
right.
me about that. Talk to me.
I mean, you get caught out of order, you was getting a whipping. You was getting smacked on the hand, popped upside the back of the head, whatever the case may be. But it was done in love. The teacher could spank you back then. And your mother would know about it and would take the teacher's side. And so would your aunt, so would your uncle. That love thing went a long way back then.
So through all of this, Mr. Shaky, what things have you done now that led from the no belts, the creativity, the yoga, all those things? You have achieved what sort of things in your life to this point with your martial arts and your career and stuff?
To date, I just got promoted to 4th degree black belt as of December the 4th, December 04. And I've been just on a mission to teach the kids and the adults, you don't have to be violent. There are alternatives to the drugs, alternatives to living on the street and being homeless. There's alternatives to smoking weed and crack and dope and heroin and doing all those other things, standing on the corners. There's two alternatives. Go to school and get a job. And I truly believe that. You have not because you ask not. Go ask somebody. Somebody can help you. And I truly believe if you ask for help, somebody out there will help you.
So would you say that foundation allowed you to be the man that you are today?
Yes, indeed.
So Lafayette Projects, tell us, was it a good place, a place to really help you plant the seed of being a good man?
Yes, it did. It helped me. Lafayette helped me in many ways. It helped me to stay focused, be grounded, and it taught me how to make choices. There's only two choices. There's a right and a wrong. There's a right and a wrong.
And who's one of your other instructors? You got your 4th degree black belt under?
Grandmaster Leroy Superfeet Taylor.
Who was the
He was the PKA champion and the full contact continuous champion numerous times over, well over 11 times before he retired. And as Bam is telling you, he also was an instructor of mine and a mentor for many years coming up. And I'll never forget that. And this is my opportunity to say thank you. And Grandmaster Kenneth Parker, who was both our instructors, thank you.